Today we are going to talk about Cold War. Cold War was a very unique kind of chain of events going on roughly from the end of Second World War to 1991. It was a sort of rivalry between the two superpowers, namely United States of America, that is USA, and Soviet Union or USSR. It was not just a rivalry between these two giants, but also between the two group of countries which followed and accepted the leadership of USA and Soviet Union. Most of the Western European countries like United Kingdom, France, West Germany, etc. were the allies of USA. In case of most of the Eastern European countries, they were the followers of Soviet Union. Here we should mention one point that after the Second World War, United States of America and Soviet Union emerged as the two superpowers, and this Cold War was going on between these two superpowers only, as mentioned just now. It can be seen that rivalry between United States of America and Soviet Union began in post Second World War era. During the Second World War, America and Soviet Union were fighting hand in hand against Germany, so they were allies and friends during the Second World War. But after the defeat of Germany and Japan in Second World War, the pre-Second World War differences between the USA and USSR came out openly. The friendship of Second World War years gave way to rivalry between USA and Soviet Union and their respective allies. This rivalry itself is called as the Cold War. Cold War was resulted into many situations wherein entire world was put under tremendous pressure. Some of such events of Cold War which created worldwide tension were Korean War, Cuban Missile Crisis, Vietnam War, etc. It also led to the formation of and signing of various security pacts or treaties such as North Atlantic Treaty Organization called as NATO. It was signed along with the members of Europe by America, and America clearly, or one of the clauses of NATO clearly said that an attack on one member of NATO will be considered as attack on all the members of NATO. It means that NATO, and in other words America, was clearly giving warning to their opponents, and those opponents were of course into bracket were Soviet Union and her allies, that if they dare to attack any one nation who is the member of NATO, then all other countries will consider it as attack on all of them, and they will give fitting reply to such an invasion. Then apart from NATO, another important pact signed during Cold War was Southeast Asia Treaty Organization called as SEATO, that is SEATO, an abbreviation. Then Central Treaty Organization called as CENTO, and ANZUS, that is ANZUS, which included countries like Australia, New Zealand and United States of America. So ANZUS Pact was yet another important pact or treaty signed during the Cold War. Warsaw Pact was an answer given by Soviet Union and her friends to United States of America, because all these pacts and treaties like NATO, SEATO, CENTO, and this pact were signed by America and her friends, and Warsaw Pact was signed by Soviet Union and her friends. Out of these security pacts, we can say that most powerful one was NATO, because NATO had its own armed forces, and that is why during the time of emergency or during the time of any foreign invasion, NATO was able to retaliate with the help of its forces, which were contributed by the member nations of NATO. One of the important features of Cold War was that American allies and Soviet Union and her friends were involved in spying each other. The American spy agency, that is Central Intelligence Agency called as CIA, British spy agency called as Military Intelligence 6 or MI6, Soviet spy agency called as KGB, and even Israeli spy agency called as Mossad were at the foremost in spying incidents. According to experts, refusal of Soviet Union to withdraw her forces from Eastern Germany and establish communist governments in East Germany and Eastern European countries was one of the important reasons for the beginning of Cold War rivalry. Due to Cold War, Germany suffered a lot. The most important direct effect of Cold War was the division of Germany into East Germany and West Germany. East Germany, with its capital Berlin, became the follower of Soviet Union. In East Germany, the Russians played an important role in the establishment of communist form of government. West Germany remained friendly with Western allies led by USA. Led by USA. West Germany had democratic form of government and its capital was Bonn. Germany had to wait till 1990 for its reunification. Soviet Union had tried to install its missiles in Cuba. This move of USSR resulted into tremendous tensions between Soviet Union and USA. Cuba is a Caribbean country located very near to USA. When Fidel Castro, Cuba's then ruler, started going close to Soviet Union and allowed Russians to install missiles in Cuba, naturally America got angered. It was a great setback to the greater scheme of Americans to contain the spread of communism. America was trying to stop the communism in different parts of the world. That is why it was humiliating for her when her close neighbor Cuba had gone in the group of Soviets. America gave daring response to this so-called Cuban Missile Crisis. John F. Kennedy, the then president of USA, ordered US Navy to blockade the Soviet ships carrying missiles to Cuba. During Cuban Missile Crisis, the entire world had come to the brink of nuclear war between these two superpowers. But good sense prevailed on both the sides and the tension was diffused and war was avoided. Russians agreed to withdraw missiles from Cuba and America also accepted to withdraw its Jupiter missiles from Turkey. Due to Cold War, Berlin city was also divided into East Berlin and West Berlin. West Berliners were friendly towards America and her allies, and East Berlin was under the influence of Soviet Union. When Soviet Union was under the control of Stalin, Khrushchev and Brezhnev, the Cold War was at its highest peak. But with the arrival of Mikhail Gorbachev at the helm of the affairs in Soviet Union, situation started changing. Gorbachev was a lawyer by training and moderate leader. He really wanted to bring positive political and economic changes in Soviet Union and peaceful relations with Western powers. For achieving his goals, he introduced the policies of Glasnost and Perestroika. Under these policies, the political and economic freedom was given to Russian people, which ultimately resulted into the disintegration of Soviet Union in 1991. It is a classic example from his history wherein one sees that the policies with good intentions, instead of yielding positive results, ruined the things, and there was a downfall of Gorbachev as well as mighty Soviet Union. In 1991, the communist regime established by Lenin after October 1917 Russian Revolution became a history. Various provinces like Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Belarus, Ukraine, Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan and Kazakhstan declared their independence from Soviet Union and became independent and sovereign countries. After the disintegration of Soviet Union, USA remained the only superpower in the world. With the arrival of 21st century, many changes are taking place in the international scenario. At present, countries like India and China have become important players in the global political and economic developments. China is making rapid economic progress, but at the same time creating nuisance and problems to its neighboring countries. India is the largest democracy in the world, and its goal is to achieve an inclusive and sustainable development. by spreading the message of peace to the world. It is definite that India will play a major role at the global level in the years to come. In 20th century, the world as a whole had experienced First World War, Second World War and Cold War. There were other wars also fought in different parts of the world during previous century, and 24 years of 21st century, that is ongoing century. Let us pray that there shouldn't be a third world war or yet another cold war in the years to come. There should be only peace, cooperation, universal brotherhood, harmony and spread of love, humanity and smile in the world. Hope that you will like this particular audio file explaining the facts about the Cold War. Thank you very much.